John Wick 4. It does not disappoint. This is spoiler alert, so don't watch this if you don't want to get any spoilers. I might not spoil it, but the way I tell things, it might be more confusing. But John Wick 4, on 123 series movies, it come out today. So it's pretty good. And I've watched about an hour and 36 of it. There's 2 hours and 49 minutes. It's a long movie. It's almost 3 hours. But, he kind of got absolved from the table, but then he goes and gets in trouble again, and he is in trouble with the table. So they put a 20 million hit on him, and a blind guy's chasing him. Another guy that says he's nobody's chasing him. So they figure out a loophole in the old system where you can, if you have a clan, you can compete in a competition. So he's challenging for a way out. But he's such a good killer, they're laughing at him saying, yeah, you want a way out, but you're coming back. You might get out this time, but you'll be back. So he's had to go through. He went to Japan to their safe house, and the table come in there and did a number on him. So 2 of his buddies are homeless now. So the guy that was over New York, they destroyed his sanctuary, blew it up. So he's a second. So if John Wick doesn't win, they'll kill him and the guy from New York. So he's got to win, a lot's on the line. But if he wins, he gets his freedom. The guy from New York gets a brand new hotel and restored back to what he was. Like nothing happened. So it's exciting. This guy's, like the new management, but you can't just, no telling how big this thing is. So if he just kept killing them, they just put more in its place. So the only way to do it is through this challenge, this ultimate challenge. And he had to kill this big old guy. He about took him out, but he beat him, so he was able to get his ticket restored. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot of family, friends, and it's nothing personal, but hey, my daughter's at stake, so, I had to kill you, or try to kill you. And then a lot of times they could have took him out, and they didn't. So it's kind of weird, why wouldn't you take all your opportunities? And I'll show a little clip. They had him fall off, and, he got his finger cut off in 3, like his trigger finger. But then he's sitting there discussing this with the guy, and it looks like he's got all his fingers back. So I don't know if they just didn't edit it out. I mean, you can kind of say, but even though, like, this finger right here has kind of bent in, you could say it didn't have no finger, but see, it's kind of the meat around the edge there. So it looks like he's got his finger. So maybe they just couldn't hide it in that scene, or that was rushed to do it because it's a long movie. So, I just had to point that out. No finger. Looks like he's got all his fingers now. One of the assassins he had to face earlier, his name's Kane. He's blind, but John Wick was a friend of his, but, it's either him or his daughter. So he has been elected by the high person to fight in his place. So he has a lot to lose, so he's very motivated, and he's probably more skilled than the new management. So they go to a church, and, he's trying to just have a little peace, and he tells them, hey, it's nothing personal, it's just my daughter's more important. And he says, okay, see you later, see you tomorrow. Well, another scene in the tunnels, the guy that was underground, and also the guy that was the manager in New York, they meet, and he gives him a gun and a new suit that's, bulletproof. And when he cocks the gun, the 9mm, one scene it shows him without his finger, the next scene it shows him, it kind of looks like he has his finger, because he's supposed to have his trigger finger on his left hand gone. So there's another blooper, I guess. But, then they have a radio station, and all these people listening to it, and they're all like assassins. So they're playing and saying, hey, the target's John Wick. So the guy's even cheating, trying to make it where he won't even make it to the tournament to face him. So now he has to go through all this. All these guys are coming at him, all the different parts of the city, and he's having to fight them all. And the one guy that's standing back, nobody, he wants more money. He says, well, you give me more money, I'll do it. It's not worth it for this price. So he gets the price up, and then everybody now has that price. So everybody's coming after him, and John Wick's taking him out, So and then they show like a top view of him going in the rooms, which is really cool. You can kind of see all the bullets and mayhem. It does not disappoint. It is an awesome movie. Wow, all I can say, I finally finished it. So, the spoiler alerts, the guy that was hunting him that wanted the money with the dog, he finally caught up with him when they were trying to get him to not make the morning duel. So he's fighting, and the other guy that's the henchman is hurting the guy's dog. So John Wick shoots that guy, keeps him hurting the dog, and then the dog attacks him, and he looks at him like, he could have killed him, but he's shot the guy that was hurting his dog instead. So, that's how this whole thing with John Wick started. Somebody killing his dog. So he kind of had to come back around. And then his buddy, the one that's blind, helps him get back up because, he's seen it was kind of unfair. They were sending all them guys to keep him from making it because if he didn't make it, he would forfeit it. So he helped him get up there, and then he cut his hand, and they had to do a duel. He didn't want to, but he was a friend, but his daughter, he's protecting his daughter. So they go to 30 paces, shoot at each other. They both hit each other on the arm. Then they had to go 20 paces, and they shoot each other, and he gets him again in the stomach or the side, and John Wick gets hit on the collarbone. Well, they go to 10 paces, and Kane shoots John Wick, gives him a gut shot. That's usually a fatal shot, especially since they're out in the middle of nowhere in a hospital and probably ain't going to be able to get there in time. Then John Wick didn't shoot. So that other guy says, he sees John Wick laying on the ground, and he figures he'll go over there and finish him off, and like take the victory but John Wick didn't never fire. So that guy gets the gun, and he says, okay, you're free, your daughter's free, and you're out of the thing, so your obligation's done. So he goes over to John Wick, and the other guy that's over in New York says, hey, you messed up. John Wick shoots him right in the head. So then they tell John Wick he's free, and everybody's leaving, and he asked the guy that from New York, said, hey, man, you take me home? So he goes down the stairs, takes everything, his belt and all, and he's totally defenseless. And then he has a vision of his wife. And then he falls over. And it shows him New York, the guy from New York, and they said, I didn't think it happened. And the guy from the underground. And it has John Wick's tombstone. So this is probably the last John Wick. But it ended with a bang. And then the guy from New York touches the tombstone and says, farewell, my son. So he was probably his daddy the whole time, but he couldn't tell him. John Wick was raised as an orphan. But, he was in that life of the assassin, so he couldn't really say anything. So, that'd been cool if he knew that was his dad the whole time. But it died with him. But, yeah, it's a good movie. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes till the credits come on. But, yeah, it's really worth a watch. John Wick 4. So, check it out.